What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to do the What If, or a new What If. This is just going to be a movie. On What If Deku was an alchemist, a full metal alchemist, but different yet similar. Deku is going to be quirkless, as in original canon, but things are going to be different, such as finding out about alchemy. And finding out it exists, and actually doing the exact same sin that two brothers did. Now, I also have two pictures right here, Oda Nobunaga and Gilgamesh. Now, I don't know too much about Oda, but I do know about Gilgamesh. And why do I have those there? Well, I'm not going to do some kind of combination with this, because I think it would be kind of dumb. But the reason why is because a certain person asked me to do this, and I decided, you know what, I'll make a movie out of it. Let me see what I can do. And basically, what if Deku could, what if Deku had heroes from Fate? What if Deku had Fate heroes? Now, speaking of which, how did this happen? Well, Deku's dad actually has a job selling houses and finding out their history. So much so that whatever abandoned house is there, he will search it, find out what he can do about it, make it into turn it into like a better house, or give it to people who like the history of it. He's kind of like a home seller. Now, what happens in this? Well, Deku is quirkless, and Inko decides that, you know what, he should spend some quality time with his dad and see what kind of job he can do, since, you know, Hisashi actually has a quirk, which is Spitfire, but I usually just call it Hell Breath because he can shoot fireballs and whatnot. And, well, Deku, he decided that this would be kind of fun. Hisashi reluctantly did this because he didn't want nothing bad to happen or Deku to break anything, but he realized that it's Deku. His son is not the kind of person just grab something and just throw it onto the ground. So when they go into a house, they go into an old-fashioned house on top of a hill with different things on there, and found out to find out that multiple generations of a family lived here, such as the wall of pictures showing, well, if you guys already know, it shows the Elric brothers, Winry and Pinako, with their dog. Now, Deku actually finds out that the one onto the very right actually had a metallic arm, and the other one had basically he had, what is the word called? He had a suit of armor. Deku was kind of interested, and the dad was like, well, maybe back then things were different. And to be honest, nobody truly knows about alchemy anymore. Only except for a slight few, but that's like around like different countries. But nobody believes in all that stuff because, one, it seems dumb, and two, nobody would believe a story like that. Nobody's gonna be like, oh crap, we used to have like homunculus and a dude named Scar that could just kill anybody who was a straight alchemist. Now, Deku, on the other hand, decided to check out different things, and while checking out different things, he goes into the attic, just searching for different things, such as a videotape, or it used to be a videotape, but it's not actually a videotape. It's a film. It's an old-fashioned film, and Deku decides to check it out, and he finds out that there's two brothers, and it kind of goes like this. Hey, Edward, do you think that we got the camera under control now? And, you know, they'll be like, oh, don't worry, Alphonse. All we just have to do is push this little button, and oh, wait a minute, it's already on. Oh gosh, that's kind of embarrassing. It's like, I told you to check on it, and it's like, hey, it wasn't my fault. You're the one who was supposed to see if the electricity was on. And basically, they're like, dude, we're wasting film, and they explain to whoever's watching it, be like, if you're watching this, it means that a certain amount of time has passed because, well, not a lot of people will understand who we are. But my name is Edward, and my name is Alphonse. We're the Elric brothers, and, well, we want to talk to whoever's on the screen and explain to them that there used to be something called alchemy. Or we used to do alchemy. And they explain this whole story about some of the adventures that got on, and explain about chemicals and the law of equivalent exchange. Not only that, they explain in finer detail something along the lines of, oh, that's like, it's bad if you do one thing and it's bad if you do the other thing. Edward just explains so much in a short amount of time about how combat used to be and different fighting styles, saying that there's like, we're gonna make a heck of a lot more videos about this. And, well, Deku watches so much, even a whole story of of Edward and Winry talking crap to each other. Is like, Edward, if you don't get up here and help me finish these chores, I'm gonna cut off your limbs and then use my automail tactics to make you into a cleaning bot. And, well, Edward is like, that doesn't affect me. And Winry's like, alright, then I'll cut off your legs so that way you can be as short as you were back then. Edward just gets mad and just starts running up to the stairs saying, what'd you say? And after that, there's arguing while Alphonse just says, well, back then I used to be a hunk of metal, which turns out to be our late father's old armor collection. And Deku explains, Deku understands that there's so much to think about because, well, one, the only people who know about like alchemy is one, Roy Mustang, two, I forgot that guy's name, but he's the one that has all the muscles. Major Armstrong. And not only that, they explain that alchemy is like, alchemy in their minds are just like the creation of something and the destruction of it. But Edward and Alphonse decided to be the creation of it. And Roy Mustang explains that there used to be such thing as fire alchemists that can explode things with ease. Sorry about this. If I'm kind of out of breath, that's because I kind of ate a heavy meal, so I gotta get, active and all. But anyway, Deku is so interested in this, and he tells his dad that he wants to keep the old films and, well, just use them and watch the videos here. And this is when he's like, well, I mean, we're not gonna use it, or nobody's gonna actually want it at this time and age. And with everything going on, nobody wants to have antiques, so yeah, I guess it's okay. You're not gonna get in trouble or anything like that, so I'm okay with it. This is when Deku's all like, thanks, Dad. And Deku learns about alchemy and learns how to summon. Well, he learns how to summon. Not summon. He learns how to make. He learns how to make a teddy bear. He learns how to make a tiny wall. Nothing too big, but like probably about a 3-foot wall full of dirt and mud. Not only that, he concentrated on learning how to make it more efficiently and make it, even better. This is when Deku, over the course of his life, until the age of 9, he... how to say it? He learned how to do it so well that he was pretty much saying that this is even cool. This is way better than a quirk. And at that time, Deku lost his mother. He lost his mother due to a sickness, and Hisashi became this loving guide to this person who doesn't even want to live. Now, Deku wants to save his mom, but he can't. He learns that, if he's gonna try to at least make a person. And if he does this right, then there's a possibility to, create something out of it. And what do I mean by that? Deku's gonna try to reanimate his mom. And he tries it. And it fails horribly. Deku basically does the incantation, putting his hands on the ground, writing everything. And the thing is, why didn't he watch a video about it? And that's because, simply, Edward forgot about making a video on the dangers of trying to make life into this world. And Deku saw firsthand his mother, trying to check, she kind of forgot. He saw firsthand on what would happen, and Deku saw that it was Inko, but not Inko. So he decides, maybe if he puts more energy to it, maybe he could see, maybe it could work again. Deku thinks that if he puts more energy to it and finish the summoning, maybe she will look human. Deku being horrified, and also one of his legs is gone. Deku didn't see that. But, Deku saw that, it doesn't work a second time. Actually, Deku going into the wall, not into the wall, Deku seeing a gateway, saying that we're going to take this away from you, and that you are foolish. It's been so long since they have seen a person like that. They've seen people who could do such a thing, like alchemy, but he bet on the wrong subject on alchemy, to never mess with something like that again. And when Deku tried it again, he's like, we'll give you more knowledge again, but it comes at a cost. This happening a second time, Deku lost his other leg, causing him to, pass out. He goes into the hospital, people try to fix him, and nobody, he, has to get treated immediately. Hisashi actually waking up from his, from the years of not seeing. He wakes up, his mind, realized that Deku's in danger, and that was the first thing he saw, which was a human abomination. Deku didn't talk to them about that, and nobody understood what happened, but it seems to do something with this quirk. And give me a second here, people. Alright, so while everything is happening, Izuku's in the ER, and he's getting healed as fast as possible. Hisashi, like I said, doesn't know what to do, and pretty much he has to stay in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Izuku, however, is mad at himself. How could he be so foolish? He should have known that something like this was bad. But he found out about the tree, about basically alchemy and learning its ways at a higher degree. And not only that, since he is a smart little child, at the age of what? Like I said, he was like 7, 8, or 9 by the time he resurrected his mother. That means Izuku's analytical skills have kicked into his psyche, and now he's smart. Well, with the information that he's gotten a lot of information about how alchemy truly works. Izuku is thinking to himself, that's how it works. That's how I should do it. And now he's learned how to do alchemy without even using hand sign, or not using signs, without having to write on paper or on the floor. Izuku is learning more on hand-to-hand combat now, using a staff. Well, it's a retractable staff that he got from a fighting shop, basically hero gadgets and whatnot. And basically, he doesn't have, his legs are gone, so he's in a wheelchair. And for most of his life, Bakugo felt disgusted with himself at times for bullying Deku. I mean, he doesn't feel it all the way, because he sometimes picks on him, but not to the degree that he did in canon. After Izuku lost his legs, he was like, he's gone through enough, but if he ever backtalks, I will, talk crap to him. And pretty much, Deku, he still has his gift, but Deku doesn't use it all the time. When something breaks, like his, say the table that he has breaks, because somebody decides to break it. I mean, he gets bullied by other people. Oh, sheesh, sorry about that. Thing went wrong with the electrical thing right now. Izuku sees that somebody broke his table by sawing one of the legs off. So when he writes on it, it falls down. Izuku just grabs that piece of metal, puts it on top, and after that just puts claps his hands, and pretty much shoots it, makes the table brand new again, even to a point where it looks better, it looks more sturdier, looks like the materials were just reused again. And Izuku was kind of happy about that. And not only that, since Hisashi got to, he's got to learn about Izuku's abilities, he decided that maybe he could work with him and also somehow fix walls and all that stuff, or fix broken appliances. And Izuku says, why not? He actually makes money with his dad, and his dad gives him money so that way they can buy automail, or what in My Hero Academia, pretty much robotic limbs. Now, here's the kicker. Izuku wants to get the high-tech quality ones. The ones that are more of, what's the word? He wants the ones that are so good that they won't break. He wants nanotech, so that way he could do things such as jump at high altitude, what's the worst? He could jump really high or pretty much run fast. Or not only that, go through stuff without having to, well, you know, without having to have the stuff break. He's actually very interested in this. And this is when they find out that it costs so much money. And Izuku says, you know what? I'm gonna make a business out of it. You see, a lot of people have like recreation quirks or construction quirks where they can just make things. And it would have to be like new materials. Izuku just doesn't have to, buy materials or force them to buy the materials. He could just say, just give me the repair fees. So after a while, he does it. He makes enough money to at least afford one leg, but he doesn't want to buy it yet. Until, well, one day they kept the money all in a big box. And this box was at least, what? Like, say, like one of those old, one of those safe boxes that have a bit of metal. It's not even durable. It's, if somebody steps on it, it could probably bend it a lot. It's not a really good one, but Izuku decides, why not? After a while, he's made enough money to at least buy one of the arms, like I said. But when Izuku and Hisashi, got something to eat, they decided to celebrate Izuku's achievement. Making, rebuilding stuff, and not only that, not even screwing people over, giving them really good pricing on this. And Izuku wanted to do this like an honest person. Even so much so that Izuku's given up on hero work. I mean, he wanted to be a hero, and maybe in the future, with his legs there, that would be a big step up in his life. But for now, he really is just happy that his dad isn't going through that depression anymore. He remembers Inko being sad those times, and being sick, and Hisashi having to go through all that. But now, Hisashi doesn't want to move on with his feelings towards Inko, but he's moved on to a point where if he ever finds somebody to love, he's like, wow, this I feel like some sense of happiness again. Although I loved her for a long time. In the end, I'm glad that, I can come to terms with her death and not have that, weight on my shoulders anymore, and accept her death, but know that she was a kind, loving mother. He felt so happy about that. And this was like a couple of years, because Izuku was 4, and this is when he barely found out he had no quirk. So for, let's say, for 5 years, Hisashi has gone through like so much sadness in his life, and now it's like starting to become good again. But after they go home and Izuku's getting carried with the wheelchair, Hisashi finds out what happens, and pretty much he sees that their house have been their apartment, because they kind of lost the house after like 3 years of Hisashi just being in the dumps and not actually having his job anymore. He was fired, but he never actually beat on Izuku. He just became that drunk person who just cried a lot and was in a tough spot. So they had to downsize from their house to their apartments. And Izuku is like thinking about like what to do for Hisashi. Now, all that being said, Hisashi finds out that somebody broke through their house, and not a lot of things were actually taken, but they realize an hour later that the box has been missing. Now, what did I say, an hour? Just because, really, to be honest, they wouldn't think that the safe was taken because nobody thought it would have been a safe. They hid it in a well-secured place, so nobody was wise enough to, like, find it there. But, well, you know, people can be lucky at times, and they were not lucky. But the crooks were. So, Izuku's hard work, effort, time, energy was all wasted that day. Hisashi looks and sees Izuku just tearing up a bit. Sorry, voice cracked. He was tearing up a bit, and Hisashi hugged him and says, "It's alright, Izuku. They can start from square one." And Izuku is like kind of broken at that for those couple of seconds, just thinking to himself, "Why? After all this time, I thought we wouldn't have to go through something like this, but apparently we do now." And Izuku is kind of upset, but right now he's just trying to stay strong because Hisashi is tearing up even more, and Izuku just is being held by his father. Izuku just goes to sleep, and the cops were called and stuff, but there's nothing they can do about it. Now, Izuku and Hisashi decide to start from square one and keep doing this again. And for 5 weeks, they pretty much, people still came to the shops and all, and had to replace some stuff or had to refix it. And this is when Izuku says, "Dad, I have to go to school. This is going to be my last day." And Hisashi, Hisashi says, "Alright, good luck, son." So he pretty much starts wheeling in his chair. And this is when he goes to school. And basically, after a couple of hours of school, teacher talks about, "Oh, I see Izuku wants to be a hero." And everybody is shocked and like laughing their asses off. I mean, everybody is, some of the guys are just like on the ground just holding in their stomachs, while the girls are just snorting at the fact that Izuku just wants to be a hero. And Izuku's teacher says, "Izuku, I understand you want to be a hero, but there's no chance for you to become one. I heard about, you and your father starting a business that replaces that fixes their stuff and makes it look brand new. But I think you should stick to that because that is actually going well for your career." And Bakugo's upset, but he says that pretty much at a calmer tone. He says that, "You're not going to be able to become a hero, right?" And Izuku says, "I still want to try. If I don't try, then how will I ever know?" Bakugo getting mad and says, "It's stupid. After all this time, you don't have any legs. How are you supposed to run after bad guys if all you have to do is keep pushing yourself? What if there's stairs? What if there's somebody who's flying? Yeah, sure, you have a quirk now, but it's not going to help you out in the long run." Sorry about that. And Izuku says, "You're right, Bakugo. It won't. That's why I'm going to try to get myself auto mail." And Bakugo's all like, "Auto mail?" And this is when Izuku says, "Yes, I'm going to try to get myself auto mail so I can pretty much do what I used to do back then. I can walk, jump, and pretty much run. And hopefully I could swim, take showers, or get up the stairs without having my dad have to do anything. Well, without my dad doing any hard work anymore. This is when Bakugo says, "That's crazy talk, you know?" And Deku says, "Well, I have to try." And this is when Bakugo just says, "Fine, but when you lose, don't get mad at me. Don't say I didn't warn you." Deku says, "Don't worry, I won't." Pretty much just wheels off. Now, as in canon, he gets, well, pretty much he gets into a lot of danger. And he does get into some danger with the sludge villain. But Izuku, even though he's in a wheelchair, he has understood the combat situations that he's learned from the Elric brothers. I mean, in a lot of situations, they helped Izuku understand how to do it. Izuku, having to be on the ground for this one, claps his hands and just starts to use those abilities. First, causing, well, a couple of walls to appear, and B, Izuku putting those walls together and splattering the sludge villain from all over the place, technically. Izuku is on the ground trying to get back up, but the sludge villain is trying to put himself back together little by little. This is when the sludge villain starts to become, big again, and this is when All Might grabs Izuku and saves him, and this is when the sludge villain says, "All Might," and All Might gets upset with the sludge villain and says, "You foul, despicable abomination. You decided to hurt a young man, and I won't tolerate that." And this is when he says, "Texas Smash!" And this is, well, basically, when Izuku just sees that it's All Might, the hero that he's always wanted to see, and All Might says, "Hi there, young man. It's good to know that you're safe. To be honest, I am kind of impressed with the whole, well, not splattering. The whole time I've been, away, you've actually defended yourself quite good, or quite well. But next time, try not to use your quirk too much. I don't want you to get in trouble with the authorities. Now, I have to jump away like a hero." And this is when Izuku grabs onto him and has to grab onto his wheelchair. And this is when All Might says, "Young man, please, why don't you get off of me, because it's dangerous." And Izuku says, "Well, if I let go of you, I will fall to my death." And All Might says, "I see. Alright, hang on, kid." And this is when the wheelchair is broken, and Izuku says, my wheelchair's broken." And this is when All Might says, "Oh, I'm sorry about that, kid, and damn, I have to call someone to at least get you here." And Izuku says, "Don't worry." And this is when Izuku claps his hands. Well, this is when he gathers all the stuff, claps his hands, and pretty much makes the wheelchair brand new again. This is when All Might says, You actually fixed it?" And this is when Izuku says, "Yeah, I fixed it." Then this is when All Might says, "Tell me, kid, what kind of quirk do you have?" And this is when Izuku says, my power is not actually a quirk. It's called alchemy." And this is when Izuku explains to All Might about alchemy. Before, after a while, All Might actually turns to Skinny Might. But this is when Izuku says, "Is that why you don't do hero work all the time?" And All Might says, "Wait, you still think that I'm All Might?" And Izuku says, "Well, that's the only conclusion that I can think of at this moment. Yeah, I could say that you're an imposter, but what kind of imposter can also use people's quirks? If anything, you're the real deal." And at that point too, you look like you're in severe pain at times. When you move around, or anytime you jump, or anytime you throw a punch, you do it. You don't do it as hard as you can with your other arm. It seems that something on your body is injured. Maybe when you fought with that chainsaw man." And this is when not Izuku, what's his face? All Might says, "Yes. I understand, kid. You're not as naive as you think." And this is when Izuku says, "Oh, thank you. This is actually, I'm grateful to that." And this is when Izuku says, "Do you think I can become a hero, even without having a quirk?" And All Might in this one actually says yes and no. To be honest, because you have what I believe you think what you call alchemy, well, I don't know what that is. Izuku forgot to explain the rest of the story, and kind of talked about about him finding a video with the Elric brothers. He explains that alchemy is this power where you can use the materials and organic life around you to your advantage, making trees or somehow refixing things. And not only that, it's really good for creation, but also good if you want to cause some havoc. All Might is thinking to himself, this kid right here is actually awesome in a way. And Izuku says that, sure, it's not much in a fight when you think about it, the way you think about it, but with the way I've been taught and the way I've watched things, and somehow watching different shows, he's let's just say that there is such thing as called the Avatar, and he learned a little bit about earthbending. And he kind of copied the ideas of like, oh, I can make a wall. I can transmute it to move around at will. Or I can make the wall even bigger, or somehow throw a punch into the air and make the wall somehow shoot out. He basically watched different, he had different ideas and had different tactics on what to use. So that's how he pretty much learned how to do that wall-to-wall squish thing. And All Might said, well, I believe you can. Although it will be tricky. I hope that in the future I get to see a good man, or the man you'll turn out to be one day. But don't think that you can always become a hero just because you have that power. It takes more than a quirk to make the hero. It also takes I got the hiccups. It takes the clothing, the bravado, the acting. But most importantly, it takes guts. This is when Izuku understands, and actually takes it in he takes it as like he did something good. Now after that, Bakugo actually gets in trouble, and Izuku in his wheelchair had to, go down this building by, well, alchemy. Somehow making a floor, pop out of the ground, and somehow just, making him like not levitate, but somehow letting him down little by little. And after he found out about, Bakugo, he actually starts using his freaking wheelchair and gets out of it and throws it at the freaking sludge villain. Deku pretty much starts using alchemy again, and instead of you making a wall, he disintegrates the disgusting particles around him, making him actually a bright green that everybody could see through. In a way, he's no longer sludge, he's more of a slime. And not only that, Izuku pretty much he pretty much uses alchemy to, instead of making the sludge like disintegrate, or not disintegrate, but make the slime melt or evaporate, he decided to make it hard as ice. And with a couple of help from All Might, I'm sorry, I kind of had a brain fart here, but with the help of All Might breaking through the ice and saving Bakugo, everybody sees that Izuku is not that bad of a kid. Everybody's kind of impressed, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, isn't that the kid? Isn't that the same kid who helped us out with our car?" And it's like, "No way, he helped us out with our gaming system. Really? He helped me out with my toaster." And people are like, "Hey, that kid is pretty cool." And they say, Elric, 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 Elric. Now, why are they chanting Elric? Well, the thing is, Izuku actually, what's the word? He turned everything, no, because he helped, because he learned from the Elric brothers and watched the videos and stuff, he decided to turn the shop into Elric's, what's the word? Elric's, fix-ups. And basically, it's like, you break it, we remake it. And this way you'll take it. Right there. I don't know, I decided to give it like a weird shop name. But pretty much the heroes are like, "Why don't you join my organization, kid?" And this is when Mountain Lady's like, "No way, I think he'll be way better helping us out." And they said it might have been pretty reckless, but the fact that you could turn someone into ice, and not only that, take away their power, or not take away their power, but take away the sheesh, I really forgot. The fact that he stopped them on his own, and not only that, he refixed the building itself by making it the way it was. He couldn't actually fix all the things, such as all the burnt wood and all that stuff, but with his help, he was able to redo everything. And pretty much he got paid a lot of money. So much so that he's kind of halfway to his goal again. Now he had enough money to at least, he had half enough, sheesh. He earned pretty much, half of the cost of one leg. So now he needs the other half to grab a leg, and then he'll have to pay for the other leg. But this is when All Might says, "Don't worry about it, kid. I'm gonna hook you up with some stuff." He says, he pretty much starts walking away, and he says, "Oh, Izuku, meet me at Dagobah Beach." And this is when Izuku does that. After that, All Might says, "Young man, after all this time, I wouldn't have thought that, you would just spring into action like that. But you reminded me that there was something more to guts. More than guts, more than clothing, more than speaking or acting. You demonstrated heart. The heart to actually do something that is right. Even though you were scared, you decided to charge in headfirst to save your friend. And I think that is very honorable and loving. And for that, you can become a hero." Izuku is actually happy about this. And this is when he says, "Well, first I'm going to try to bite my legs." And he says, "No need. And in a few more hours, you're going to get these legs." And this is when basically something comes out of the water, and it was going at a fast speed. So Izuku's all like, "Whoa, what is this?" And this is when two people come out of there, and this is when a man with glasses and a lab coat gets a walkie-talkie and says, "All right, you guys can leave now. Me and my daughter will stay here for at least a couple of weeks." And all you just hear from the walkie-talkie is like, Roger that, Mr. Shield. You may call us when you need us. Goodbye for now, sir." "As you too, sir." And the submarine just starts speeding away onto the other side. And this is when Izuku says, "Wait a minute. You are David Shield?" And this is when David says, "Yes, my name is David Shield. I have heard all about you." And this is when Deku is like, it's kind of an honor in a way." And David says, No. It's not. It's more of an honor to meet the man who I've heard so much about over the past couple of hours." And this is when David said, "You see, I was going to visit, Toshinori, and I decided that, I was going to surprise him with some stuff, see how he would like it. But I heard about your actions. Heard about you defeated a villain without having to use your quirk. And we decided that was actually pretty impressive in a way. After we found out how old you were, we decided to ask him and pry more about it. Then he said that you can use something that isn't even a quirk. That is actually something that none of us have ever thought of. We would never have thought that somebody had powers instead of, us. Well, instead of the entire world." And Izuku says that he uses alchemy. And he says, "Oh, I've heard about that. I never thought it was real, but, as far as I know, not a lot of people know too much about it. Maybe the government, but not us. That is actually impressive." Izuku says, thank you. But anyway, I don't know why you guys want to see me." And they said, "So you haven't told him." And this is when he said, "Tell me what?" This is when Melissa actually speaks to him and says, "Hello, my name is Melissa. Uncle All Might decided to decided to help us out. And you are going to get some legs. And Izuku says, what? This is when Izuku sees that these legs are state-of-the-art. 100% carbon fiber, steel, technically, they're just bionic legs. Cybernetic legs, whatever you want to call them, built with nanotechnology. And they said these must have cost a fortune. And they said they're not as high tech as the robotic automail, as the automail that I was trying to see. Melissa says yes. The ones that we had were of an older gen model. We gave you the newest ones that, well, people from the military are getting. These are the legs are known as Type X. These are tricky legs because they're more sensitive to brain functions, so you have to get used to it. And not only that, you're gonna have to go through a lot of pain. And Deku says, whatever it takes to be a hero. And, well, years later, or not a year, 10 months later, Izuku is there fighting with All Might, actually somehow giving him a lot of, what is the word? Giving him a run for his money. Izuku swinging his staff around and pretty much uses alchemy to make it into a spear and shoot it at All Might. All Might catches this, but he says, Izuku, you really thought that was gonna work on me? And Izuku says, no, All Might, but this will. Puts his hands on the ground, and after that, a hand shape. Well, sand in the shape of a giant hand grabs onto All Might, throws him up in the air, and Izuku just somehow uses his alchemy again and makes a freaking pillar, causing it to go as fast as it can and hits All Might square in the face, causing All Might to fall down to the ground. And this is when Deku says, I actually won against you this time. And All Might says, yeah, that actually hurts. But that was a spectacular performance, young Izuku. I'm glad that that the training that you've gone through is really good. Wait, did I say that right? I meant, I'm glad that the training that we've been doing has improved your skills to a lot. And Izuku tells him, well, alchemy is sure fickle. I was so close to, I was so close to my goals before, but now with my new legs and the training that I'm getting, I'm going to actually win in the UA what is it called? The UA entrance exam. All Might says, ha 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 ha. Yes. And for that, if you ever want to take the quirk that I'm supposed to give you, you can always have it. Right now, if anything else, I'm going to try to find other candidates. And Izuku says, well, why don't you give it to Melissa? And this is when, All Might says, what do you mean give it to Melissa? Izuku says, well, she always wanted to become a hero. And her quirk isn't, as far as I know... Oh, wait, I don't think she actually has a quirk. If she does have a quirk, let me know, but as far as I know, she doesn't have a quirk at all. So, that being said, Deku actually tells him that, if anything, give it to Melissa, and with her brain and with her knowledge, and fighting capabilities that she's been learning for a while, she too could actually do a lot of good work. And All Might says, alright, if you guys don't know why I'm deciding that Melissa should have it, well, it's because Izuku, one, has feelings for Melissa. After all, she gave it to him free, without paying for him. And not only that, it was her idea to just give it to Izuku, and she wanted to help him a lot. After all, he is a strange person. He's a strange person, so she liked that. And, well, none of them are being honest with their feelings, but hopefully in soon or later, their feelings get to change. Give me a second here, people. So, where was I? Oh, okay. Now, if I remember correctly, he told All Might that she wants to be a hero and that she could possibly be a candidate. I mean, in a way, after explaining about One For All to Izuku, after all this time, he actually explains it to him in more detail, so Izuku understands more about it, and not only that, about a man named One For All. And Izuku also tells All Might, like, alchemy is going to be something that I can use in the future. And not only that, Izuku tells him to just get himself a new lung, or give himself some new body parts. That it's easier to. This is hard to do this to a person's body. I don't know how to explain it, but he can't just use alchemy on someone's body, because then it'll be like a sin. But rearranging stuff is not actually a sin, it's more like it's a bypass. And Izuku could just pretty much help out and put the lung in the or whatever. I forgot what part of his body or what part of his organs got crushed. I'm guessing it's somewhere near the kidney and the liver, or it might be part of the lung, or one of the organs that are important. Either way, All Might decides to tell Izuku, alright, I'll listen to that. And after a while, he goes into the UA entrance exam. He meets Bakugo, and Bakugo says, so after all this time, you got yourself some legs, huh? How much do they cost? And Izuku says, oh no, nothing actually. He says, so, it didn't cost a thing, but those look more of like state-of-the-art, high-tech gear. And Bakugo's kind of interested in that at times, but doesn't pay it too much mind. And Izuku says, well, he got it as a gift. And Bakugo says, by who? And this is when Bakugo hears, by me. And Bakugo sees Melissa, and he's like, who are you? And Melissa says, well, my name is Melissa Shield. Well, I'm the daughter of David Shield, All Might's old partner. And this is when he's like, that is amazing. It's a pleasure to meet you, but I gotta go. And this is when Bakugo's all like, that was intense. To think I would actually meet All Might's partner's daughter. I wonder if, what her quirk is. And this is when pretty much Deku says, hey, Melissa, how have you been? She says, well, after a while, I've learned how to, use, my quirk. And it's actually going more smoothly than I thought. I can't believe that. It feels it's so cool to use it. And Deku says, yeah, but you gotta make sure to not overexert yourself. This is when basically they go into the building, and they still talk for a while, but they have to go into different seats. Deku goes with Bakugo, and Melissa actually goes with Ochako. And why Ochako? Well, just because of convenience, or random student, whichever, or... Sorry about that, I'm still sick. Apparently, the sickness is still hurting me. But, anyway, Izuku tells them that Izuku hears nothing from Ida, because he's actually not talking to anyone, and Bakugo's not even saying anything. It goes on peaceful until, and only until, Izuku hears, Present Mike speaking a lot about, one, the monsters, or the robots and all. And Izuku's all like, this is going to be a breeze. And after a while, Ida says, this is all deplorable. How could you do such a thing? This is bad for UA itself. And Izuku just uses, basically claps his hands. And then after that, touches the floor with no one actually, seeing him. But Bakugo actually notices what he's doing, and he starts to grin a little bit. To be honest, Izuku and Bakugo actually became, buddy and buddy again. Seeing that Izuku's quirk is actually pretty awesome, and even though it's not as flashy as his, it could help out in the near future with all of his, if he ever has to or if he ever has to cost repairs. And not only that, he has to admit, Izuku could help him out, and maybe he doesn't have to be so mean with him. After all, he's gone through a lot with not having a mother for quite a while, not even having his, childhood. Not even having a childhood for him to, go off of, since, he was bullied and he's been just alone. So he's actually trying to make amends by, being helpful towards Izuku. With that being said, sorry about that, I have to clear my throat. With that being said, they go off in their own districts, and Izuku goes into the one with Ida and Ochako and I think some other people. Oh, and if you want to know about what happened, Izuku uses his alchemy to create a fist flying up, going up and hitting Ida square in the jaw, causing him to kind of, get tired a bit. And, Izuku is actually hearing 3, 2, 1, go, and Izuku just summons a spear, and just starts running. Seeing one of the 0-pointers, Izuku sees this, and he basically throws his spear at a fast pace, cutting off one of the legs of the out of the 2-pointer, and destroying and pretty much destroying the what is it called? Not destroying the creature, but causing its legs to no longer be there and just break off. And Izuku pretty much just opens the panel and just shuts it off. Instead of destroying it, he wants to actually dismantle it, see what he can use out of it. And he pretty much destroys he kind of repeats and rinses the progress. At times he has to destroy them, but either A, he contains them, or B, just dismantles them all completely. After a while, he's getting pretty good. He's getting pretty good with fighting other heroes instead of All Might. I mean, yeah, it helped out a lot since All Might was training him But now that he's fighting other creatures that have different mindsets than All Might, it could actually work to his favor. And to be honest, he is getting some decent points. But this is when he sees the 0-pointer, and most of you guys would say, oh, Deku would just create a giant fist or destroy it. No. What he sees is that Ochako's there, and Deku decides to use alchemy to create basically a big wall, cutting off the 0-pointer's movement. And after that, pretty much grabs Ochako and just starts running with her in tow. And seeing that the 0-pointer is not climbing but pushing the wall breaks, and then it's coming towards Izuku, and Izuku pretty much throws her at Ida, causing Ida to be kind of dazed because Ochako hit him in the head or something like that. And Izuku just dodging one of the flying pieces of rock that was going to hit him. Izuku jumping up, and after that flying, because he's actually using the legs, which could shoot him into the air and keep him stable for a while, going to the 0-pointer, using his alchemy, and actually saying full dismantle. And he really didn't need to say anything, but he thought that was pretty much a cool thing. His powers work really well against non-living creatures, especially those that are, well, of a metallic persuasion. Now, Izuku actually gets a lot of points, and the roster's gonna be like this. It's gonna be Izuku, then Bakugo, then Melissa. And that's where I'm going to leave it off here. If you guys want another part to this series, that's how I think this would be like. Give it like, 40 subs? I mean, not 40 subs. If you guys aren't subbed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, to subscribe to the channel here, people. But, no, it's actually going to be like, if you guys get 40 likes, I will make another one, but at the same time, it's gonna be a while because I gotta make more what-ifs, such as the Oda, Nobunaga, and the Gilgamesh one. So, yeah, just be prepared to watch that one soon enough. And that's pretty much it. Now, this has been the Fallout What If here. Bye.